Peace. This is Wise for Wise Words Media back at y'all for another round. And fight fans, we saw David Benavidez make his debut at the light heavyweight division of 175 pounds, a division that for the past X amount of years has been dominated by two men who will be in a major clash this upcoming fall in October, and that is none other than Dmitry Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev. So now, because David Benavidez has been chasing greatness and he has wanted the Canelo Alvarez fight, he stood at 168 for as much as he possibly could, but because the WBC helped assist Canelo Alvarez in avoiding David Benavidez for 3 years, Benavidez can no longer make 168 super middleweight, so he moved up this past Saturday on the Gervonta Davis undercard, and he made his debut against the Ukrainian fighter. Sorry, the name slips me. It's with a G. It'll come back. In any event, the man he fought was no slouch, right? So let's understand that first and foremost, because what I'm seeing is a lot of people jumping off the David Benavidez bandwagon. A lot of people are now looking at David Benavidez as he was a fraud. He wasn't this big bad monster. He was a weight bully. Let's pause on that. Let's pump our brakes a little bit. First of all, the man that they selected is an Olympian. This guy was in the Olympics. He comes from the Ukraine. The Ukraine, if you know anything about boxing, especially Eastern European boxing, these Eastern European fighters, they put so much into the amateur ranks that by the time they come up to the professional rankings, these guys are stellar, lights out boxers, pure boxers. Just think of guys like Alexander Usyk, Lomachenko. Think of guys like that, Beterbiev, Bivol. Like Eastern European fighters, when they are in the amateurs, they hone so many fundamental boxing skills. And the thing that separates both the Ukrainian and Russian and the Eastern European boxers, plus the Cubans, what separates them from the rest of the world is that they keep, both Cubans and Eastern Europeans keep a lot of the boxing fundamentals they used in the amateurs and were successful with it. They translate that into the pros, and they use a similar style, a point system style that makes them very difficult to beat, unless you knock them out. And we saw that the opponent that Benavidez fought, he only had one loss, and that loss comes to none other than one of the two kings of the division in Arthur Beterbiev. So that that loss, you really could look at it like it's no big deal. That's nothing to hang his head about, because he lost to one of the best, or one of the best in that division. So for one, Benavidez, in pursuit of greatness, he went up. Usually people, when they go to a new weight class, because they don't know if their power is going to translate, they don't know their conditioning, if their stamina is still going to be the same, they usually get a lesser opponent. He went up and fought somebody that's arguably a top 4, top 5 guy in that division. And when he went up there, he knew this was going to be a good measuring stick to see if I'm ready to take on one of those two big names yet. And what we saw was the power did not exactly translate against this opponent, against him. That's not to say, that it won't translate against anyone else, but it was a bit alarming that the guy that we dubbed the Mexican Monster, because Mike Tyson gave him that name, and we're used to seeing him get opponents out very quickly, struggled to get him out of there. The punches didn't really have the same impact that they had at 168. So now what we are going to need David Benavidez, if he's going to be the best version of himself moving forward and continue to be this excellent boxer that we all been rooting for, and uh, want to see him successful because of his pursuit for greatness, the way he's been challenging himself and wanting the best fights. We're gonna need to see Benavidez condition himself more, because as he saw, and he said it firsthand in the post-fight interview, he said that the guys at light heavyweight, they can take his punch a little more. So what he's gonna have to do is he's gonna have to do what guys like Mayweather, Pacquiao, Roberto Duran, guys like that, when they moved up in weight, they started using this more than this. They had to think the game out more, because the power doesn't always translate, but IQ can go to any weight class. Not saying it will survive, because we do have weight classes for a reason, but you got to know your limits. This is only Benavidez going up one weight class, so he should still maintain some of his power. But what you're gonna need to see, and there was good signs of it on Saturday, he's gonna have to move his head a lot more, dig to the body a lot more, and we did see that on Saturday. We did see him slipping a lot of punches, countering a lot of punches, and going to the body a lot. So those are good signs for a fighter moving up in weight. So that's why I'm not really jumping off the Benavidez bandwagon as many people are. I'm going to say that, yes, this is going to be a learning curve. This is going to be a tough experience, because it's bigger guys that can take his punch now. But he's a very skilled fighter, has hand speed. That's one thing that we always commended him about, his hand speed. He has hand speed. That seems to not have gone anywhere, because he was giving some swift counter punches and swift shots to the body. So that, and the fact that he was moving his head, slipping punches, that's going to be big for him moving forward. So I think we learned that David Benavidez is going to need to rely more on fundamental boxing skills, footwork, head movement, digging to the body, and using his jab a whole lot more now in this division than he did in the last, because he's going up against some bigger boys. And if he wants a chance against Bivol or Beterbiev, because so far it looks like he's lining up for the winner of that fight, he's gonna have to use pure boxing skill, head fakes, pivoting, good footwork, hitting the body, slipping punches, torso movement, head movement. So we'll see what we get with the next Benavidez fight at 175, but I'm not writing him off yet. I'm Wise for Wise Words Media. Peace.